Oh, that's a mega one. I hadn't even got that fish out, and the right hand rod's gone again. Oh, that'll do. Once it's boshed out there. Whoa, geez, nearly went flying. Right rod's going again. Oh, that is an absolute mega looking fish. Welcome to a new video. I am back on the bank and I'm out on a local day ticket reservoir. Now, you would have seen this venue a few times if you've been following the channel, but it is a lovely place. It's hidden away in a little valley. It doesn't get fished a great deal, and it's a bit of an awkward walk across a couple of fields which are very, very boggy at this time of year. But we've got a lovely mild front just come in after having a load of very cold weather, and it looked absolute perfect to come up here and have a go. We've got a lovely southwesterly, I think it is. Temperatures of about 9-10 degrees, and a bit of rain coming in as well. So last night we actually had nearly 50-mile-an-hour winds, and there was actually a tree down on the way down the track to the lake, but I managed to clear quite a few of the branches and managed to just about squeeze the van through. So hopefully it doesn't get any worse and I get trapped in here, but getting trapped on a lovely little lake isn't the end of the world, to be honest. But anyway, we're here for about half a day. I've got to go and get the lad from preschool later on, so hopefully we've got enough time to stick one or two on the bank and yeah, have a nice session. So let's get some rods out, let's get fishing, and let's see if we can catch a carp. First rod to go out is going to be a solid bag. I'm going to be fishing solid bags on both rods today. It's just started raining as I've been trying to get things sorted, so I'm going to quickly nip out, chuck this out there, and then get back under the brolly. Oh my god. As hell! Oh, that was grim. Right, that hailstorm's passed, so I'm going to get the second rod out. So the first one is on a solid bag. This second rod's going to be on a solid bag. The one that's out there is basically pure pellet with a sort of fish-based liquid injected into it. This one is more ground bait with like a citrus style liquid in it. So slightly different food signals being given out on both. So I'm going to get this one in, and for the starters I am literally just going to fish 2 rods on the solid bags. So I've basically put that about halfway, and the reason for that is this is a reservoir and there's an old stream bed that runs through, which is obviously what they dammed to create the lake. Both rods are fishing, 2 solid bags out in the wet stuff. Looks like another storm's on its way. I think we're going to be in for a wet half a day. Right, while the rods are out, you would have probably seen from the footage getting the rods cast out, I got caught in a hailstorm. Luckily, that's all passed through now and I didn't get too wet. But I've obviously put the brolly up and everything, because we are forecast to have a bit of weather today. So I'm sure there'll be a bit more along shortly. But I'm basically out on a local reservoir today and I'm fishing a couple of solid bags. I'm actually fishing out towards what is the old stream. So because it's a reservoir, it's obviously been dammed from an old stream, which does still come in at the top end, and there's a little slight depression out in the middle sort of zone which runs through where the old stream used to be, and it does tend to be an area that seems to produce fish at this time of year. So I've got 2 solid bags out in that general area. I've not put any freebies out yet, just going to see if I can get a bite off of that. But we've actually had a load of cold weather recently. It's been down to like -8, -9s for about a week or two. And this was actually frozen over a couple of days ago. But we've had this storm come through and it's been sort of 9 or 10 degrees. I think yesterday it was even 12 degrees. When the sort of the big weather come through, and last night it was like 50-mile-an-hour winds. It literally looked like the apocalypse outside my house. There were recycling bins flying everywhere, bits of rubbish and stuff, everyone's bins falling over and like racing down the road. Yeah, it looked like absolute carnage outside, but luckily that has passed through at the moment, although we are meant to have a bit more I think later tonight, and there's even a bigger lot of weather coming in tomorrow evening I believe. But it is good for the fishing. This lake does respond well to it. It has been frozen over recently, so it's going to be quite cold water, but hopefully this bit of mild weather will switch them on. It's like a west, sort of southwesterly, which is a fantastically mild weather, mild wind. So yeah, hopefully the fish want to play ball, but they're out there, they're on the dance floor, we're fishing, so fingers crossed we can have one. But it is definitely time to crack open the flask and have my first coffee of the day, so I'm going to crack on and do that, and hopefully I'll be showing you a fish very soon. Right, well so far it's actually been relatively pleasant. We've had a bit of sun, the wind's not been too bad, and we haven't had too much rain, but a big grey front's just come over the top of me, and it's starting to drizzle and rain now, so it looks like we've got a bit of a wet bit coming through. But I've been fishing about an hour and a half and I haven't had a bite. I'm really surprised. I thought we'd have had one by now. So I think what I'm going to need to do is start sort of moving the rods around, casting bags around into different areas, and just see if I can find a pocket of fish. There's got to be something feeding somewhere. With the weather the way it is, I would have thought there's something up for a bit of food. So I'm going to move the rods around, see if I can drop on an area where there might be a few fish held up, and go from there. But the rain's getting heavy, the camera's going to get wet, so let's save the camera before it gets too damp. Oh. Would absolutely pour down as I'm doing it, wouldn't it? Right, I'm just getting a fresh, solid bag out. We've got a bit of a wet front coming in. There's definitely a storm coming overhead now. Oh, that'll do. Once it's boshed out there. Might have been just beyond where that fish showed then, but can't believe that. It's stuck his head out as I'm about to cast. That's what you want. The only problem with this lake is it does get so boggy. I'll see if that does the business. I've seen this one's just nodded its head out. Whoa. Jeez. But yeah, the wind's just picked up. You might be able to see. I don't know how dark that is on the GoPro, but there's a big storm just coming in there, and the wind's just picked up. So look at that. I have to be a bit cautious of these trees, to be honest, but that one looks pretty solid. The solid bag rod that I just, whoa, geez, nearly went flying. The solid bag rod, the right hand rod that I cast at that shower, is just dropped back. Eh? Oh, you're joking. Oh, what's happened there? Oh, I don't know what's happened then. Damn it! What's just been done on that? But we'll get this back out there. Don't know if that's a bit short. Right, we're back out there. Might have to move another rod over that way. Oh dear. An absolute bog. Right, that bag I just recast, literally 5 minutes ago, is apparently away again. And we're in. Oh, feels a bit breamy at the moment. Not a great sign. Oh, my knobby actually just swam straight at me. No, I think it is a carp. It's literally just swam straight at me. Oh no, it's a bream. Not the intended species. Off you go, mate. It's the only downside to solid bags. Well, after seeing that fish show, I didn't expect a bream on it, if I'm honest. But we'll send it back over there. That was a bit better as well, that one. That was a bit further over. That last one was a little bit short, so to be fair, it probably dropped into that deeper water. Which is probably why I had a bream on it. Right, back out there. Well, I've just had a drop back on that rod again. I got a bad feeling I've found a pocket of bream. Well, I've not got any more bags tied up, so I'm going to have to tie up some more. I found a pocket of bream. Well, bream number 2, not what I'm after. Look how pale that fish is in the dirty water. Yeah, not what I'm after. Nice to have a bite, but not the intended species at all. Now I've got to tie up some more bags. Well, I've just tied a couple of solid bags up. I thought I'd just show you one as I'm doing it. So I used the traditional PVA tape way of tying my bags up. And you want to get everything organised first, so I just get some PVA tape ready to go, just lay it on the side of the bucket. I've got a small quarter solid bag. These are sort of my go-to. I use extra small if I'm fishing at longer range, and I use a bigger bag if I'm fishing over like a heavy weeded area, so I'm essentially like creating a spot with the bag itself. And then I just put a little bit of the mini cream mix on the bottom, just push that down. And then lower my rig in, just check, I just caught that on the edge of the bucket, just check that's alright, and it is. And I just lower my rig in, and just make sure that's lying nice and flat, so that the hook doesn't get caught up in anything, like that, so you can see it's laying nice and flat in there. Then, smash a load of pellet on top of it. Maybe to about sort of halfway. Then I use the lead and just sort of tap that down a bit. Then what I'll do is position the lead in the centre of the bag, sort of push it into the pellet a little bit so it's sat in the centre, and then top it up with another load of pellet. And what I've got there is basically the hook bait sat on the bottom, the lead in the middle, and that means that it's balanced, so when you cast it, it casts a lot better. There are people that fish the lead on one side, the hook bait on the other, so when the lead lands obviously down and the hook bait sat on top. I have done that a few times, especially when I'm fishing in heavy weeds, so I know the hook bait's presented on top, but it takes a lot of messing around, it's a lot more fiddly, And I've caught so many bags doing it this sort of more traditional way, so many fish on bags doing it this sort of traditional way, that I've got more confidence, if I'm honest, in tying them like this, and they always seem to tie better. Then just wrap the PVA tape around the top, pull it down. Don't pull it super tight because you end up just snapping the tape. Pull it down again, another one just to secure it, a couple of overhand knots, just like that, and that is your solid bag pretty much secured and done. Then push the corner in. I give it a little bit of a jiggle around, just lick the corner, fold it over, stick it down, just hold it for a bit so it sticks, just like that. Push the other corner in, again just manipulate it a bit just to sort of make sure everything's nice and packed down. Lick the corner, stick it down, and there we go. And there you have absolute rock hard solid bag, which that will cast a very good way, a very good distance, and then just trim the excess. And in this bit up here, in the summer I don't worry about that, but in the winter I try and trim a decent amount of that off, because what will happen is that will just create a big blob on the top of the lead setup. So I'll try and sort of trim it down as much as I can, and that way it will obviously break down a lot easier. And there you go, solid bag ready to go. I've actually got a couple tied up, and as you can see, all the same, very uniform, very tidy, and that way you're fishing the same presentation every single time. But I need to get one of these back out on the spot anyway. So what I'm also going to show you is this bad boy. So this is just a little container with some oils and liquids in. So in here I've got some of the DNA bug liquid food, and also some of the hot hemp oil, sort of 50-50, and I just inject that into the bag. You don't need loads of it. Wipe the excess off. There we go. Then we've got some nice liquid in there, which will pump out a load of food signals straight away. And that's ready to go on the rod. So let's get it on the rod and send it out in the pond. Right, there he is then, all ready to go out. Send him out there. Nice bit of depth. Nice. Right, that's that one out. Right rod's going again. Oh, what? Ah, cool, that was swimming right at me. Ah, okay, yeah, this is a carp. Cool, that just ripped off then, and then just went mega slack, and I thought, oh, so you picked that rod up? Yeah. I was thinking that was a spirited bream. It's actually quite awkward, this swim, because it's so boggy really close in. You've got to go really careful you don't go absolutely flying. It's putting up a nice account for itself. It's a very spirited fish. I don't think it's very big. I'm using the 9-foot 2.75s again today. I used them up here last time. Lovely playing rods, these. Easily chuck a solid bag a decent distance as well. So, you know, so many people are obsessed with heavy test curve rods. And, oh, what a fish! Oh, it's a mirror. Look at the scale pattern on that. Oh, that is an absolute mega looking fish. Yeah, I'm using the 9-foot soft rods, and they're just so nice to play fish on. Like when you're fishing for sort of smaller fish on average on lakes like this, you know, there's the odd 20-pounder in there maybe, but when you're going to be catching generally sort of doubles, it's so much nicer when you've got a softer rod. You get so much more enjoyment out of the fight. Whereas when you've got heavier sticks and heavier gear, you just don't get the same enjoyment out of it, I don't think. That is an absolute banger. Oh, that was worth waiting for. I hope I get this one in the net. He's currently trying to get under the net. That is the thing with this lake. There's some absolute stunning fish in here. They're not big. They don't really get enough food to grow. But there are some absolute bangers. Look at that. Oh, that's a mega one. Well, that was worth the wait. Right, I've just got that fish resting in the net. I'm going to just get this rod back out. Obviously, time is of the essence. I need to make the most of the time. Right, that rod's back out. Happy days. Right, we'll sort the fish out first, and then we need to tie up some fresh rigs. I haven't even got that fish out, and the right hand rod's gone again. It's not doing anything, so it feels like a bream. Right, well, the rod that I put back out there has gone off with another bream. Right, hopefully you can hear me okay. I've managed to break part of the wireless mic, so there might be a bit of wind noise, but I'm just going to have to make do for now. But we finally have one. It's a lovely linear, not a big fish, but look at that. What an absolute stunner. That's a lovely fish, that. Beautiful scale pattern. Obviously only a little one, but worth the wait. That's a lovely, lovely looking fish. So I'm really happy with that. I've just had another bream as well. I recast that rod that I had this fish on, and it's just gone off again. I've had another bream, so I think I've had 3 or 4 bream now and 1 carp. That is the downside to solid bag fishing, but it does catch carp and it catches a lot of them, so I'm still going to continue using them, and hopefully we'll have another 1 or 2 before we have to go. But I might spin them round and show the other side. What a lovely, lovely fish. Really happy with that. And I'm going to get him back and get some new solid bags tied up, because I'm out of them now, and see if we can get them out in the pond and catch another one of these bad boys. Cheers, mate. Nice meeting you. Not a big one, but a gorgeous fish. Let's let her go home. Off she goes. Nice. Right, well, that rod's back out after having that carp, and it took a lot longer to get that fish than I was expecting. After seeing a fish show, putting a rod to it, then having a bite, unfortunately, I don't know whether I got done or what, but it was a bit of an aborted take. I then put another bag out, had a couple of bream, proceeded to have, I think now 4 or 5 bream. Obviously I've had a carp, but it's still nice to have a fish anyway, obviously. So it was a lovely fish, and you know, it's worth the wait. It wasn't a big one, but it was an absolute stunning linear, so I am definitely not complaining. But the solid bag tactics are working. Obviously I'm catching more bream at the moment, but that is the downside to fishing that kind of tactic on a water which has a head of bream and other species in it. You are going to pick up other species, but they are fantastic for targeting carp, and I'm going to persist with them for the rest of the session. But I've got about, I reckon, a couple of hours to go before I'm going to have to get going home and go and pick the lad up from preschool. So hopefully it's a nice time, it's enough time to get another one. The weather is definitely getting more and more blustery and windy as the day, or as the session's sort of going on. We are due a really big storm again, I think, later on. So it could just be the sort of start of that, sort of picking up going into the evening and afternoon. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to get another flask out. I'm going to get another coffee out the flask. sit back, just enjoy being out in the outdoors and enjoying a bit of nice fishing. And yeah, hopefully we'll have another one to show you shortly. Right, never drop back on a left rod. I imagine it's a bream. Feels like a bream. To be honest, some of these bream aren't a bad size. If you were fishing on a feeder rod, you'd probably be pretty made up with them. You'd probably build up quite a hefty bag, I expect, but with some of these bream. But yeah, when you're fishing with a carp, that ain't really the one. Right, I think we might have bream number 10. Obviously, fantastic tactic for bream is the solid bag. So I can highly recommend it. If you want to catch yourself a few bream, then get on the solid bag. Alternatively, just use a feeder rod and fish on a tip. Definitely a better way of doing it. But to be fair, they're a decent average size. I think there are a few decent ones in here, and actually, as you can probably see, they're full of beans. That's got a nice coloration, that one, to be honest. Now, if I was fishing, look at the colour on his head. It's a lovely coloration. Now, if I was fishing for bream, I'd be absolutely chuffed catching these on a feeder rod, but I'm not. But to be honest, I might actually, I might have to come and have a go, because it'd be quite nice doing something different, fishing on a feeder for an afternoon. I haven't got any more solid bags tied up, so as I've only got about 15 minutes to go before I need to pack up, I'm going to retire this rod. I'm going to just fish with the one and see if we can get a carp on that before we have to go. Right, well, I've had about 10 bream now and only one carp, so it looks like the solid bags ain't doing the job today. I probably should have just fished a spread of boilie and just fished some boilie rigs on leg clips, but it is what it is. I wanted to give the solid a go again after catching a few on there on here recently. And I also wanted to sort of brush up on my solid bag fishing, so I've not done a lot of it lately. I just wanted to sort of get back into the flow of tying and trying to get that speed and get into the flow of doing it for the spring, because it's a really good tactic on our syndicate. So yeah, that's kind of the whole thinking behind what I was doing. But yeah, I think if I had a spread of boilie out there, feeding little and often with some 18 millers maybe, and just fishing bottom baits on standard leg clip setup, then I might have had some more carp, because it would have kept the bream at bay. But it is what it is. But I've got one rod out there still, just down there fishing. I've packed the other rod away because I've had a bream on it, and I'm just going to fish the last 15 minutes with one rod. But I'm going to call it quits now anyway. If I get anything else, I will show you at the end of this video, or I might drop it in before this outro. But that is the end of the video, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, then give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, then please subscribe. We upload every Tuesday at 6:30, and also upload some extra content, normally on the weekends, fishing for other species outside of carp fishing. Can be anything. Lately it's been a lot of pike fishing, and you'll probably see a few pike videos going up before the end of the winter. So anyway, thanks for watching. Get out there, be lucky, enjoy your solid bag fishing, enjoy your fishing in general, and get out there and catch a few. So yeah, until next week, get out there and enjoy it.